Chapter 17, ShadowClaw. With quiet resolve, Monica turned away from Gerald's room and made her way back to the mansion's main hall. Each step felt different now. Heavier, yes, but no longer uncertain. The grief she had found in that room had not broken her. It had sharpened her purpose. Whatever fear had lingered inside her, something stronger pushed it aside. The knowledge that she still had a chance. One chance. At the centre of the hall, Monica carefully placed the star glass on the worn stone floor. The delicate hourglass caught the thin shafts of daylight spilling through the broken windows, its surface glimmering faintly in the dust-filled air. For something so small, it carried a power almost impossible to comprehend. A century back in time. A chance to reach Max before everything was lost. And it was a price she could never take back. Once she used it, there would be no returning home. Monica stared at the starglass for a long moment, letting the truth settle over her. She would be leaving this world behind. Osmond, Elena, the ruined palm brinks, and the future she had known. If she succeeded, that future might change completely. If she failed, she would be stranded in a past that no longer was hers. Still, she did not step away. Before activating it, she lifted her gaze to Osmond. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The silence between them was not awkward or empty. It was full of everything they both understood, but could not quite bring themselves to say. This was not simply a farewell, it was an ending. Osmond bowed his head slightly. "Farewell, Your Majesty," he said at last, his voice steady, though there was a quiet sadness beneath it. "Tell Max I said hello." Monica's expression softened. After everything they had endured, the formality almost made her smile, though the ache in her chest made it impossible for the smile to fully form. "Osmond," she said quietly. He looked up. "If I actually managed to save him," she continued, choosing her words with care, "I want you to go to a beach in Venecio. Look for a cave. Near the entrance, there will be a rock. I'll leave something there for you, as a thank you for helping me." Osmond studied her for a moment, understanding the weight of what she was offering. It was not merely a gift. It was a promise carried through time itself. Monica stepped closer to him. Despite the danger waiting ahead, despite the uncertainty of what she might find 100 years in the past, there was no fear in her eyes, only gratitude, sorrow, and determination. "Goodbye, my friend," she said gently, "and thank you for everything." Then, after a brief pause, her voice softened further. "Oh, and please tell Elena I'm sorry. I shouldn't have called her selfish or a coward. She isn't either of those things. She's a wonderful woman who would do whatever it took to save her family." Osmond gave a small, solemn nod. "I'll make sure she receives the message." For a little while longer, they stood together in silence, two unlikely companions at the edge of history. Outside, the ruined town remained still. Dust drifted through the broken hall. The starglass waited between them, gleaming faintly on the floor, like the last star in a dying sky. Then Monica took a slow breath and turned towards it. There was nothing left to say. Monica stepped towards the starglass once more, steadying her breath as she forced her thoughts to narrow to a single point. Maximum. His voice, his smile, his final word. Everything else began to fall away. The ruined mansion, the silence of palm brinks, Gerald's letter, and Osmond waiting nearby. If she held on to Max clearly enough, if she fixed her heart on him without wavering, then the star glass would take her exactly where she needed to go. She reached for it. "Monica?" Osmond's warning sliced through her concentration. Instinct took over. A shadow dropped from above, crashing through the shattered window with lethal purpose. Glass burst across the hall. Steel flashed in the dim light. Monica seized the star glass and threw herself into a backward roll, skidding across the dusty floor until she landed near Osmond's side. The figure struck the ground with eerie precision, silent, controlled, watching. Slowly, the intruder rose. Twin blades slid into view, catching the thin shafts of daylight that spilt through the broken mansion. An owl-like mask concealed her face, but the glowing red eyes behind it fixed on Monica with unsettling intensity, not merely with purpose, with recognition, with hatred. Monica felt the difference at once. This was no ordinary assassin. "Who are you?" she demanded, rising to her feet. "And who sent you?" The figure gave no answer. Not a word. Not even a breath that Monica could hear. Osmond lifted his weapon, keeping close to Monica without taking his eyes off the intruder. "I have a feeling Griffin had more associates than we first anticipated," he muttered. Monica did not look away from the assassin. Something about the silence unsettled her more than the blades. Beneath that stillness, she sensed something raw and personal. Something the assassin was fighting hard to keep buried. "Take the star glass to the mines," Monica said firmly. Osmond glanced at her. "And leave you here. I'll create a diversion and buy you time." "Are you certain you don't need my assistance in fighting her?" Monica drew her father's sword with calm precision. The blade left its sheath in one clean, familiar motion. "Don't worry about me," she replied. "I still know how to fight with a sword." There was no hesitation in her voice. Osmond understood. A moment later, his form flickered, then vanished as his stealth, camouflage, engaged. He slipped away from the confrontation, taking the star glass with him as he disappeared into the deeper shadows of the ruined mansion. The instant he was gone, ShadowClaw moved. Fast. Too fast. Her blades cut through the air in a lethal arc, forcing Monica to react without thought. Their weapons met with a sharp, ringing clash that echoed through the hall. The force of the strike jolted through Monica's arms, but she held her ground. Barely. They broke apart, circled, then collided again. This time, the rhythm took shape. Strike. Parry. Counter. Retreat. Monica fought with discipline, every movement grounded in years of training. Her footwork was controlled, her breathing steady, each strike measured rather than wasted. She had not come here looking for a duel, but she was no helpless target. ShadowClaw, by contrast, fought like a storm, fluid, unpredictable, relentless. Her twin blades came from shifting angles, one strike masking another, one movement flowing into the next. Before Monica had time to fully read it, she fought with speed and aggression, forcing Monica to adapt moment by moment. But skill was not the only thing driving her. Monica saw it in the way the assassin pressed forward, in the force behind each blow, in the slight tremor beneath the control. Emotion. Their eyes met during a violent clash of steel, and Monica saw it clearly now. Not just anger, betrayal. The intensity of it gave her pause for the smallest fraction of a second. ShadowClaw seized the opening instantly. Her blades hammered against Monica's defenses in a rapid, punishing sequence. Monica was driven back step by step across the cracked floor, sparks flying as steel scraped against steel. One strike came dangerously close to her shoulder. Another forced her to twist aside, cloak snapping behind her as the blade cut through empty air. Monica gritted her teeth and pushed forward, breaking the momentum. Then she raised her arm. Fire burst from her armband, streaking towards the assassin in a sudden flare of heat and light. ShadowClaw twisted through the attack, narrowly avoiding the flames. The edge of her cloak caught briefly, singed and smoking, but she did not slow. If anything, the near miss only sharpened her fury. She closed the distance again. Too quickly, too close. Their blades locked. For one heartbeat, they stood face to face, the crossed steel trembling between them. Monica's voice was low but steady. "You don't have to do this." Something flickered behind the mask. It was almost nothing. A hesitation so brief another fighter might have missed it. But Monica saw. ShadowClaw tore herself away violently, spinning back and striking again with even greater aggression, as though trying to bury whatever Monica's words had disturbed. Monica adjusted. This time she watched more carefully. The assassin was fast, dangerously so, but not refined. Her attacks were fierce. Yet beneath their speed, there were gaps. Her footwork betrayed her when anger took over. Her strikes lacked patience. She fought as though she needed each blow to prove something. Emotion guided her hand. And emotion made mistakes. Monica shifted her stance, waited, baited. ShadowClaw lunged. Monica moved. A feint drew the assassin's blade wide. A subtle redirection broke her balance. Then Monica pivoted with precise timing and swept her leg cleanly through ShadowClaw's stance. The assassin hit the floor hard. Her blades skidded across the stone, spinning out of reach. She did not cry out, did not beg, did not scramble away. She simply looked up at Monica, waiting for the end. Monica raised her sword, then paused. Something in that gaze stopped her. It was not fear, it was not defiance. It was something fractured, something human. Slowly, Monica lowered the blade. "You fought well," she said at last. "However, your swordsmanship still needs refinement." The words struck differently than any weapon. ShadowClaw's head tilted slightly, confusion breaking through the mask of composure. Monica stepped back. "You won't meet your end here today. If you wish to surpass me, continue your training. Explore new weaponry. Learn discipline, not just speed." She sheathed her sword. "Until our paths cross again, farewell, assassin." Then she turned and ran. No final strike, no command, no cruelty, only mercy. Within moments, Monica was gone, leaving the ruined hall silent once more. ShadowClaw remained where she had fallen, staring at the empty space Monica had occupied. Her breathing stayed steady, but her thoughts did not. Why? Why had Monica spared her? That was not how this was supposed to end. Her grip tightened as she slowly reached for her fallen blades. The mission remained. It always remained. She had been sent to stop Monica, and she could not allow sentiment, confusion, or weakness to interfere. Yet, As she rose and slipped back into the shadows, something lingered beneath her resolve. Doubt. And for the first time, hesitation. The park lay before Osmond, a hollow echo of what it had once been. Where a shimmering lake had once reflected sunlight, laughter, and the gentle movement of life, there was now only a cracked, desolate basin. Its surface had dried and split beneath the weight of time, leaving behind a wound in the earth where water should have been. The silence surrounding it felt almost suffocating. No voices, no movement, no breeze stirring across the water. Only the lingering memory of what Palm Brinks had lost. It weighed on him more heavily than he cared to admit. And yet, despite everything, hope refused to die. If Monica succeeded, if she truly managed to change the past, then perhaps this place might breathe again. Perhaps the lake would return. Perhaps the empty streets would once more carry footsteps, voices, and laughter instead of ghosts. Perhaps Palm Brinks would not remain a monument to failure, grief, and decay. A faint sound broke through his thoughts. Footsteps. Osmond turned sharply, his hand tightening around his weapon. Then relief flickered across his face as Monica emerged from the canyon path, moving quickly towards him. "Thanks for waiting for me," she said, slightly breathless, though still composed. Osmond studied her for a moment. Her clothes were marked with dust, and there was a sharpness in her expression that had not been there before. "What about the assassin?" he asked. "Did you deal with her?" Monica gave a small nod. "I defeated her," she replied, "but I didn't kill her." The answer did not reassure him. A frown creased Osmond's brow as he looked back towards the path she had come from, his posture tightening at once. "Let's hope this won't backfire on us." "She's not beyond saving," Monica said quietly. "With time, she might choose a different path." Osmond did not share her confidence. "I'm not so sure, Monica," he said, his voice lowering. Then he went still. His instincts flared. Something was wrong. A presence moved in the distance. Silent, deliberate, closing in. Without hesitation, Osmond raised his weapon and scanned the ruined park, eyes narrowing as he searched the shadows. Then he pressed the starglass firmly into Monica's hands. "It's my turn to hold her off now," he said, urgency sharpening his voice. "Head into the mines, Monica, and don't turn back." Osmond, her voice faltered. She knew what he was doing. The moment she looked into his eyes, she understood. He was not buying her a few seconds. He was placing himself between her and whatever followed, no matter what it cost him. "Go," he ordered. She hesitated. "Now," he snapped, more forcefully this time. "Save Max and live a better life for yourself." There was no time left for doubt. Clutching the starglass tightly, Monica turned and ran, her boots striking the stone as she disappeared into the dark mouth of the mine. The deeper she went, the colder the air became. The tunnel swallowed the last of the daylight behind her, replacing it with damp stone, stale air, and the oppressive weight of the earth pressing in from every side. Her breath sounded too loud in the darkness. Every step carried her further from Osmond, further from the ruined town, further from the future she was preparing to abandon. Then, a thunderous explosion tore through the silence behind her. The ground shuddered violently beneath her feet. Dust and fragments of stone rained from above as the entrance collapsed, sealing the tunnel in a roar of falling rock. "Osmond!" Monica cried, spinning back instinctively. But there was nothing to return to, only dust, only stone, only the dreadful certainty that he had sealed the path behind her, cut himself off, for her. The truth struck her like a blow to the chest. For a moment she could barely breathe. Her hand tightened around the star glass until her fingers ached, but she forced herself to remain standing. There was no turning back now. Her voice trembled as she whispered into the darkness. "Please, be okay." The words barely carried beyond her breath. "I refuse to let anyone else die because of me. For a brief moment, Monica stood there, swallowed by the cold silence of the mines, carrying the weight of another sacrifice on her shoulders. Then she turned away. With the star glass held close, and her resolve burning through the fear, she forced herself onwards, deeper into the mines, deeper into the darkness, and deeper towards the past she was determined to change, no matter the cost.